Well, Stan, we got 2 games this afternoon already in the books. Virginia, last time they were here in Charlotte, well, we don't want to talk about what happened against UMBC.
No,
that was
we
a
don't.
nightmare. They got those demons out of the way today, took care of NC State in the second half, really kind of pulled away from them. So Virginia took care of business. I'm wondering from State's standpoint, everybody kind of felt like when they came back and beat Clemson yesterday, that got them an NCAA bid locked up. You feel that way, or are they still in the bubble?
Well, one of the things you got to remember about the NC State game is a team that doesn't have a great non-conference standing. So that's important. Winning the game yesterday was cool, but the margin, the 20-point loss, I think some of the people may look at that. The selection committee could keep that in mind, but I think NC State may barely get in. Very impressed with Virginia. Didn't play a great first half of basketball, but guys shot the ball phenomenal. Salt did a great job, as he's done most of this season, and they find a way for the 20-point win, and they kind of just get your first game out of the way, and then you go on and play in the semifinals tomorrow night.
Yeah, State needs to keep watching the rest of these tournaments.
Yeah, they do.
They don't
really
need any more St. Mary's
they really
knocking
do.
off Gonzaga.
They really do.
Yeah.
They've got to get a lot of help from basically the teams that are supposed to win need to win. You don't need a lot of upsets, you know, in the other conference tournament, the AAC conference tournament, or some of the things out west. Everybody do what they got to do, and State slips in, I believe.
Yeah, so Virginia Tech and Florida State played the second game. Second time in a row that they've gone to overtime. Hokies just about had the game wrapped up after rallying, but Blackshear misses a free throw. Florida State comes back, hits a 3 to tie it, forces overtime, and then kind of a miraculous just toss it up in the air shot.
What do we
in.
always talk about? To win basketball games, especially this time of year, you've got to rebound, you've got to defend, you got to defend the three-point shot, and you have to make free throws. You get a chance to make a free throw, to go up 4 with less than a minute to play. You don't make the free throw, and it comes back. It didn't lose the game for it, but it was certainly a key part if you're a Virginia Tech fan, and you got to give Florida State a lot of credit. Having played a solid first half, not so good second half, able to find a way to win. That's got to give them some momentum as they take on a very difficult Virginia team tomorrow.
Well, and you got 2 teams in Florida State and Virginia Tech, 2 pretty good ball clubs, obviously. I think they're both top 20 teams. They're going into the tournament now, the NCAA tournament, from this point on. And Virginia Tech hopes to get Justin Robinson, their point guard, back after he's been out for 2 months.
Well, I think if Robinson's back, that can be that person who can handle the basketball, maybe move the tempo. The thing that you got to remember when you play Virginia is about the pack line defense, the tempo, the style of the basketball game. They're going to wear you down. The discipline on Florida State, do you have it? Are you going to be able to make knockdown jump shots? Florida State has something that I'm so impressed with. Watching them last week against Wake Forest very closely. The second unit, kind of like a hockey change. They can bring 5 guys in, they can bring 5 more guys in. Can those guys all get in sync when your turn is to play? Play well, extend the game, make this a 94-foot basketball game, get Virginia out of their comfort zone. Those things happen, you can think Florida State wins, but let me tell you what, and you know it, Brett, as well as I do, Virginia's a tough team to beat. They've only lost 2 games, and those 2 games were to Duke.
All right, let's talk about tonight. Speaking of Duke, they've got the second game tonight. They take on Syracuse tonight, the team that beat them already once this year, but Duke expects to get Zion back tonight. Is it going to be an issue working him back into the rotation?
I think back to, I'm dating myself, maybe the 2010 season, maybe further than that. When Duke had a situation with Carlos Boozer that was injured, they knocked off Carolina in the last game. They didn't do that this time. And they went on, and Kate made a very interesting statement back in that day. He said, well, hey, Carlos has got to adjust to us. I think this is a different scenario as far as Zion Williams. I think a lot of the guys are going to have to adjust to him. Let him play at his own pace. A few minutes here, a few minutes here, on a pitch count, so to speak. But I think it's important psychologically that he can get his hands on some balls, get a couple of rebounds, get an excitement play to get this crowd excited, which in turn is going to get him excited. He won't think about the knee injury. But you remember, the 2 teams split. Trey Jones was injured when Syracuse beat him at Cameron. Zion didn't play when they beat him up at the Carrier Dome. So I really don't know what to expect, except it's going to be a dogfight. But we all know this. Here's the most important thing anybody's ever going to tell you about Duke. If they're making 3-point baskets, they're a tough team to play. If they're not making 3, the Syracuse zone is effective. It could be a long night for the Blue Devils.
Well, speaking of guys who really need something to happen good, it's North Carolina. They have to be able to rebound the ball. We know, we've seen that this year from the way they've played throughout this season. If they're not rebounding the ball effectively, they're going to have a lot of trouble with Louisville.
I was so impressed last week with their rebounding and pushing the ball and getting a lot of easy baskets and a lot of easy shot opportunities in transition against Duke. That's very much the situation here because we know Louisville can get up and down the floor and they can make shots. Can you defend 15, 18 feet away from the basket? Can you rebound? What kind of game will May have? What kind of game will White have? First night here in the arena, are they going to be excited? And again, these are two teams that split each other as well. So who knows what's going to happen? Everybody wants to see, Carolina Duke play in the semifinals tomorrow night. It'd be a great game. It'd be a great game on paper. But don't be so sure that both of those teams are going to be there tomorrow night.
All right, going to be interesting to see. Will you have another Carolina Duke matchup? We'll find out in a couple hours.